Before you continue scrolling, stop for a moment, take a deep breath, because what you are about to hear might not be a coincidence. Maybe you found this video randomly. Maybe the algorithm showed it to you. Or maybe something deeper brought you here. Sometimes God places a message exactly where someone needs it. And if you are listening to this right now, there is a chance this message is meant for you. God doesn't always speak with thunder or loud voices from the sky. Most of the time, He speaks quietly, through feelings, through signs, through situations that happen again and again until we finally understand. But the truth is, many people ignore these warnings. They keep going in the same direction. They ignore the uncomfortable feeling in their heart, and later they realize something shocking. God was trying to protect them all along. Tonight, I want you to listen carefully, because there are moments in life when God sends warnings before something important happens. And if you learn to recognize these signs, you may avoid pain, heartbreak, and mistakes that could change your future. The first warning sign from God is something many people feel, but very few understand. It is called spiritual discomfort. Have you ever had a moment where everything seemed normal on the outside, but inside you felt uneasy? Your life looks fine. Nothing dramatic is happening. But deep inside your heart, something feels wrong. You can't explain it. You can't point to a specific problem. But there is a quiet voice inside you saying, something isn't right. Many people ignore this feeling. They tell themselves it's just stress. They distract themselves with social media, music, or endless scrolling. But sometimes, that feeling is not stress. Sometimes it is God trying to get your attention. God often places a warning inside your spirit before danger appears in your life. It's like a silent alarm, but if you constantly ignore that alarm, you may miss the message. Another warning sign God sometimes sends is repeated obstacles. Imagine praying for something every day. You want a certain relationship. You want a certain opportunity. You want a certain plan to work. But suddenly, everything starts falling apart. Plans fail. Conversations go wrong. Opportunities disappear. And no matter how hard you try, nothing works. At that moment, many people feel angry with God. They ask, why is God blocking my blessings? But here is something powerful to understand. Sometimes what looks like rejection is actually protection. God can see the future. He knows the pain that could come from certain decisions. He knows the heartbreak that could follow certain relationships. So sometimes He closes doors, not to punish you, but to protect you. Another warning sign from God can appear through repeated messages. Have you ever noticed something strange? You hear the same advice again and again. Different people tell you the same thing. You watch different videos and they all seem to talk about the same topic. Even random conversations somehow led to the same message. It almost feels like the universe is repeating something over and over. That might not be coincidence. Sometimes God repeats a message until we finally listen. Because humans are stubborn, we often ignore the first sign, then the second, then the third. So God allows the same message to appear again and again until we understand. Another warning sign God sometimes sends is through people leaving your life. This one hurts the most. A friendship ends. A relationship breaks. Someone you trusted suddenly disappears, and you are left wondering why. Why would God allow this? But sometimes the truth is this: not everyone who walks with you is meant to stay with you. Some people are only part of a chapter, not the entire story. And sometimes God removes someone from your life because He sees something you cannot see. Maybe that person would lead you away from your purpose. Maybe that relationship would cause deep pain in the future. Maybe their influence would slowly destroy your peace. So God separates your paths. At first, it feels like loss, but later, you realize it was protection. There is another warning sign many people experience. It is the feeling that something in your life must change. Maybe you suddenly feel uncomfortable with certain habits. Things that once felt normal now feel wrong. Maybe you feel a strong urge to move in a different direction, to leave something behind, to start something new, to fix something broken. Many people ignore this feeling. They stay in the same routine, the same toxic environment, the same destructive habits. but sometimes that feeling is God guiding you toward a better path. Because God doesn't just warn us, He also gives us the opportunity to change. Another powerful warning sign is when peace disappears from your decisions. God often communicates through peace. When you are walking in the right direction, you often feel calm inside, even if life is difficult. But when you move towards something that is wrong for you, peace begins to disappear. You feel restless, confused, uncomfortable. It feels like your spirit is resisting something. That may be a warning, because God sometimes removes peace from a situation to guide you away from danger. But here is something important to remember. God's warnings are not meant to scare you. They are meant to protect you. Just like a parent warns a child about touching fire, the warning is not punishment. It is love. And if you are hearing this message right now, there may be something in your life that requires attention. Maybe there is a decision you are about to make. Maybe there is a relationship that doesn't feel right anymore. Maybe there is a path you are walking that is slowly taking you away from who you are meant to be. This is your moment to pause. Think carefully about your life. Ask yourself honest questions. Is there something I have been ignoring? Is there a warning I have been feeling in my heart? Is there a change I know I should make, but I keep avoiding? Sometimes one moment of honesty can change your entire future. Because when you listen to God's warnings, you avoid battles that were never meant for you. And remember something powerful. God never closes a door without opening another. God never removes something from your life without preparing something better. Sometimes the greatest blessings come after the greatest warnings. But the key is simple. You must listen. So before this message ends, take a moment, close your eyes for a few seconds, take a deep breath, and quietly say this in your heart. God, if you are trying to guide me, help me understand your message. You might not hear a voice, but sometimes clarity appears slowly, through peace, through wisdom, through the courage to make the right decision, because God is always speaking. The question is, are you listening? But before you leave this video, there is something important you need to understand. God's warnings are never meant to destroy you. They are meant to save you. Many people think that when things fall apart, when plans fail, or when people leave their life, it means God has abandoned them. But the truth is often the opposite. Sometimes things fall apart because God is removing something that was never meant to stay. Think about your life for a moment. How many times did something not work out, and later you realized it was actually a blessing? Maybe a job you didn't get, maybe a relationship that ended, maybe a plan that completely failed. At that moment it felt painful, confusing, even unfair. But months later, or years later, you realized something incredible. If that thing had worked out, your life might have gone in a completely different and possibly worse direction. That's how God's protection sometimes works. It doesn't always feel good in the moment, but later, it makes perfect sense. Another thing many people forget is this. God sees what you cannot see. You can see today, maybe tomorrow, but God can see the future. He can see the consequences of every choice, every relationship, every path you might take. So when God sends a warning, it is because He already knows what could happen if you ignore it. That is why learning to listen to God's guidance is one of the most powerful things a person can do. Because when you listen, you avoid problems that most people walk straight into. But here is the beautiful part. Even if you ignored God's warnings in the past, even if you made mistakes, even if you chose the wrong path before, it is never too late to change direction. God's guidance is not limited. His patience is greater than we imagine. Every single day is another opportunity to choose a better path, another opportunity to correct a mistake, another opportunity to start again. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be willing to listen. And sometimes, all it takes is one quiet moment, one honest prayer, one decision to trust the guidance you feel inside your heart. So tonight, or whenever you are listening to this, take a few minutes for yourself. Turn off the noise, put your phone down for a moment, and simply reflect on your life. Think about the areas where you feel uneasy. Think about the decisions that keep coming back to your mind. Think about the signs you may have been ignoring, because sometimes the answers we are searching for are already inside us. We just need the courage to face them. And remember this powerful truth. God never warns someone without also preparing a better future for them. If He closes one path, it is because another path is waiting. If he removes someone from your life, it is because someone better may enter it. If he stops your plans, it is because your story is not finished yet. Something greater could still be ahead of you. But the first step is awareness. The second step is courage. And the third step is faith. Faith that God's guidance is leading you somewhere better. So if this message reached you today, don't ignore it. Take it as a moment to pause, reflect, and realign your life with the direction that brings you peace. Because sometimes a single message, heard at the right moment, can change everything. And maybe, just maybe, this was that moment for you. Type Amen in comment section. Amen.